more visual, they have more access to information, past, present, and future than ever before in the history. You have a group of people who are tired of seeing the same thing, combined with a group of people who are tired of seeing that things hadn't changed. You know what I'm saying? And in a moment to where it's like things are bubbling and boiling so much that the only way that you can do it is to turn the fire off. And the only way you can turn the fire off is to have a conversation. You gotta have conversations. And those conversations have to lead to actionable items that are not just rhetoric or political, politically motivated, but they're designed for what is in the best interest of the people that I serve. Will you hit everybody? Absolutely not. But can I teach every single person to be considerate of every other person and to look at things through multiple lenses versus your own? That's what our kids are doing. And they're doing it much more rapidly than the people who are in charge and in power. And that's where you're going to have a problem.
Yeah. And I just, for some reason, what came to mind, because we were talking a little bit, about how we have some empathy for city and county and state level leaders, because in this current pandemic situation, it's impossible to make decisions that are good for everyone. You are going to have to impact. The example we used is, around me, gyms are closed, indoor dining is closed. And you look at like the service industry, especially of, if you're someone who made part of your living or all of your living as a waiter or a bartender, like you've had a really rough go of it. But it made me think, of your understanding, or you're saying that we got to get to a place where we can start to understand the perspective of someone else. And that's really where this started, was talking about what a great year it is. I don't want to go around bragging that I've had the greatest year ever, because these things have really, for the most part, I've not had a ton of detrimental effects this year.
But then, now watch this. Parading it and putting it out there, and is your right. Because think about it, everybody's not winning at the same time.
Right.
They're not. Now, I guarantee you, if we would have had our house built before 2021, if we would have had our house built before this year end, even next year when we're moving into our house, it's going to be a celebration of the work that took place in 2020. You know what I mean? It's like you can't. It's not that you're being insensitive to other people. It's that you're sharing the excitement with your life, and anybody who's worth their weight of anything should be able to celebrate with a friend despite what they're going through.
Yeah. And
you know what I mean? Like you have to understand that even in the midst of everything else, your story could be the hope for somebody else, that, hey, look, everybody's not losing. That's the way I look at situations. And I also go back to the Bible, and the Bible says that God has no regard of person, meaning what he does for one, he'll do for the other. So if I see that God is blessing and moving other people in the midst of a pandemic right now, then I can look at my situation and say, maybe I'm not as bad off as others, but I know I'm still not where I want to be. So because God is blessing over here, there's no need for me not to step out on faith and trust that God's going to bless me over here. And then bam, I walk into that manifestation. So again, don't dim your light. The Bible says you don't light up, you don't turn on a lamp and put it underneath the table. No, you turn on the lamp and you put it on top of the table, on top of the tallest hill. That's the Bible. So it's not just for the people in the house, the people that are closest to you, your friends, your family, to see your light. But no, he says, put it on the top of the table, on top of the hill, so that those who are even abroad who are going through can see, look, it's dark around us, but look, if we just keep going, there's a light up there on that hill. and that light is hope.
And that kind of where I was coming back to with the conversation about social media is it, and that, we've watched that documentary, The Social Dilemma, and you've seen things, and how kind of how it works, that it just, the system that it is, it tends, if you are looking for things that are negative, if you are, in that negative mindset, it's really easy for that to bring you more negative. And for me, trying to bring the positive in this situation, coming around with the kids, I mean, because I look at it, and I mean, this has been one of the best years of my life. And you know, I but I don't, and I think, like you said, there's a tactful way to be positive and to bring positivity without, you know, I can bring positivity about my own life without undermining or dismissing the fact that there are people around me who's had a really rough go of it.